All right, 3 quick tips that are gonna permanently eliminate the cold call tension that you feel when prospecting. I know what it's like to have that inner monologue in your head when you press dial and you're just saying to yourself, don't pick up, don't pick up, don't pick up. Even though you know your job is to book meetings, I used to dread so much the tension that I knew I was gonna feel on the call once that prospect said hello that I didn't even want them to answer. So in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to overcome that, and let's get into it. So the first thing I'll say is tension. What tension? There's only tension if you think there's tension. You gotta stop getting in your head because that's what's literally creating the tension. It comes across in your voice and tone because you believe there's tension, they start to feel uncomfortable. It's because you don't feel confident yet that you can actually help them or that you're actually being a value add for them. So the first step is to get into your head that you are valuable to prospects. You are a point of contact at your company which exists because it solves challenges in the marketplace. Your company wouldn't exist if it didn't actually help customers. And a lot of these customers and these prospects, they have problems and they have challenges. They're using too many spreadsheets or they're taking far too long to get certain processes done and their boss is like, hey, look into that. And you're their new point of contact that can actually help them in this area. So you first have to adopt this base fundamental mindset that you're a value add to them, you're not bothering them, and you're not a nuisance to them. You can actually add a lot of value to their career if they take on a project with your company and build out a business case and it actually delivers an ROI for their company. A lot of times these prospects get promoted through projects like this. So you're actually a huge value add and know that when you're making dials. The next key tip is that you want to immediately take control of cold calls and be concise. This is why I don't really like permission-based openers for new SDRs. I have nothing against permission-based openers if you feel comfortable with them, but a lot of new SDRs, they try these permission-based openers or these pattern interrupts, and then the prospect has this defensive tone and now you're like, oh, they're mad at me, they don't like me, I'm bothering them. And then that's where the tension gets created before you even got into your value statement. That's why I prefer to just give an assumptive formality, get them to just give you a quick phrase or formality back. You shouldn't have to worry about the cold call opening or play any games. And then you just go in 30 to 45 seconds, tell them who you are, why you're calling, and what you want. You take control because now there's no tension because they're just listening while you deliver value and answer those 3 primary questions that they have. The other part I like about this is now when they say hello, you know exactly how the next 30 to 45 seconds are gonna go because you've rehearsed that value statement. This is really what changed that internal monologue I was talking about earlier from don't pick up, don't pick up, don't pick up to please pick up, please pick up, please pick up, because I wanted them to answer because I knew exactly what was going to happen when they did. And I had gotten so good at the value statements just by practicing it so much that I knew there was like a 30–40% chance I was going to book that meeting once I got them live, which directly translates to money in my pocket when I was an SDR. That was my KPI, setting meetings and getting opportunities. The final area that's really going to reduce tension on cold calls is being prepared for the most common objections. The top 3 to 5 most common objections typically account for like 80% of the objections you receive. It's, hey, we already work with X competitor. I don't really have the time right now. I'm not the right person. You may want to reach out to so-and-so. And in sales, dead space is your worst enemy. There's that split second or two when you get an objection and you're fumbling or stuttering over your words and they can tell that you're rattled and trying to come up with something. Dramatically lowers your results. There's real studies that actually show that even a second or 2 delay in handling an objection, if you seem uncomfortable or there's a pause, dramatically lowers your results. But if you're prepared for these most common ones, you can almost meet them at the end of their objection and show, I've been here and done this before and I'm not fazed by your objection at all. So I recommend literally making flashcards for the most common objections like you probably used to do in school. It baffles me that no one questioned making flashcards for random biology classes that we took and preparing and studying for tests by making flashcards. But when it comes to your full-time job, your full-time profession and how you generate income, people don't do simple things like making flashcards. And in fact, it's a lot easier to make flashcards for sales objections, in my opinion, than those biology tests we used to take. There's not that many objections. There are, but you only need to really be prepared for the most common ones first, and then you can branch out and start focusing on those more niche objections. So these were the 3 things that really reduced tension for me on cold calls and totally flipped my mindset from being nervous about what happened when a prospect said hello to being excited about the possibility because I knew I was probably gonna book a meeting. So hope this helped. If it did, hit the like button and I'll see you on the next one.